All right. Are we on? Looks like it. so, I streamed earlier, of course, one of my Upwork streams, but I'm already a little bit tired of it, and I wanted to stream about something else. So, I figured it would be fun to go through the Primeagen's stream chat and just see what we find, because usually it flies by so fast that you can hardly read it. Yeah, you miss half the messages, and sometimes people post links or make corny jokes and stuff that could be funny, and I figured I replay the chat and I create a little tier list, so if I find something that's S tier or F tier, then we can rank just. And yeah, this interface I've written is very, very fresh, so I don't know if it works, but we'll find out as I'm using it. So what do I need to do here on the other screen? Make sure that which chat is accessible. If I can move that onto the screen if I need to. Okay. Not that I expect any viewers, but it's mostly a test stream. So, all right. Let's see here. And because so many messages are posted per minute, I kind of split it up here. You can see up top per hour. All right. And the funny thing is, I haven't even watched today's stream, so I have no idea what it's about. So it's basically like reading the log and trying to find out what the program's supposed to do. Hopefully from the messages I can sort of tell what the stream is about or was about. It was today, September 6th, 2024. Okay. Just want to say, the more I use Go, the more I see your wisdom about simplicity being awesome. In my experience, some people with more of a maverick personalities work better and are happier if they work in startups or start their own businesses. Yeah, well, that's me, but you also need to have some, I guess it's called business acumen to do that, and working in startups has some disadvantages too. So, occasionally you find great teams in a medium to big size company, but my problem is always like, yeah, you really can't tell from the job interview. You don't. I would love if, as part of an application process, you could like attend a stand-up, just listen in, or just work a couple days, see what the people are like. Anyway, if I now double click here, so now I can rank this A tier. Yeah. All right. Hey Prime, I got hired 1 year into my journey as a full stack developer. Okay, and your videos helped me. Yeah, good for him. I feel like I have to choose between interpreted languages and be productive, or compile languages and get stuck and give up. Well, I mean, I like C#.net. I don't get stuck with it that much. And it doesn't take long to compile. So I don't know what this person is complaining about. Let's go. Okay. What's Hackenstash about? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Okay. All the coolest kids are on the stream today. Well, ThePrimeagen streams, during my most productive time. Like, well, I'm Eastern time zone here in the US, so I get up in the morning, then I'm super productive till about, I don't know, it falls off a little bit after 2 p.m. or whatever. So, you know, and I just feel it's distracting me too much. I mean, there are some other things, like on YouTube or whatever, that I can put on in the background. But the Primeagen is so too distracting, so I usually don't get to watch him. 24k, small amount since Vercel saved him so much cost in dev time. So I guess they're talking about somebody with a huge Vercel hosting bill. Let's see, who is that guy to say 24k is a small amount? Okay. Yeah, Vercel is just, you know, might be cheap when you just get started, but then it's, I feel figure out how to host it on AWS, you can save just such a ton. Okay. Let's see. Of course, most of the comments here are kind of forgettable. Okay, you built a PHP extension for the basketball game in like an hour. Yeah, I don't know. Is the Primeagen that's super fast at programming? I don't know, because the programs that he writes just don't interest me that much. Okay, yeah, but he has some trouble, I guess, with his internet connection. Now that must suck. But doesn't he like stream out of a barn or something that he redid? Okay, what are they talking about now? Okay. Being able to estimate when you can get away with quick and dirty and when you can't is a useful skill. Well, I don't know. Do I agree with this? Yeah, sometimes I do things quick and dirty, and sometimes, but I feel when you need to estimate if you can get away with quick and dirty, then you already shouldn't be doing quick and dirty. But you know, when it's clear that it's like throwaway code or pretty simple or whatever, or just for yourself, then you can do quick and dirty. Back was out PHPing. Yeah, somebody else asked, what is hack and stash? The fear of getting fired is greater than my desire to stand up for myself. Well, you know, I do feel it's a big disadvantage that I don't value money enough. I always felt like, okay, the difference between like a high salary and a very high salary, I don't even notice. I don't spend that money. Then it's just like numbers in a bank account that I have to take care of. So I live very frugal. So, well, now it's the flip side. Now I'm unemployed. I have to watch every dollar, but you know, I so suddenly yeah, anyway, like looking back, if I had a greater fear of being poor, or of getting fired, maybe I wouldn't be in my situation now, but you know. I've learned, and my teams learned, that I'm not the guy to turn shit out the door anymore. I'm the guy that says I need time to do this thing right. Now that we got part of it out the door, but that takes time to learn. He sounds interesting. Okay. Human issue. All right, so they're discussing, I guess, quick and dirty versus refactoring and doing it right. Banks are really bad about the everything needs to be aligned side. It's rough. Yeah, I don't know. Bank would not be my favorite place to work for. Partly because I used to know somebody who worked for a bank, and it's like, wow, would you want to write the software that drives ATMs, for example? Better not make any mistakes. By the way, it was too funny that Chase infinite money glitch. What's Chase thinking of, like, allowing people to withdraw money immediately? They should have shut that thing down as soon as people started doing it. I just feel bad for, maybe very young people who thought it was an actual glitch and they watched TikTok and then they committed check fraud, writing a fake check for 20K and then withdrawing the money and not realizing how horrible that is. But that's typical for 2024 when if you can flash money, for many people, including young people, that's the thing. The influencer economy and all that. And it's kind of sad if you compare it like with the movements of the 1960s and 1970s, and young people being much more, interested in non-material things. So I feel you need to, when you're very young, you need to be not materialistic, and then when you get older, you can get more of an appreciation for money. But okay, well, I'm starting to ramble again, so let's see here. Okay. Guess now they're talking about PC specs. Yeah, Stack Overflow's so dead. There are some sites where I feel like they'd completely missed the boat, and there must be some people with like huge regrets, like Craigslist, like what's the site that I thought about the other day? Yeah, Vine. Why did Vine even shut down? Why didn't they turn themselves into a TikTok or all kinds of companies? He hates Stack Overflow due to use of C#. C# is not so bad. I like C#, but for some reason, I often don't like the people who write C# or .NET. They're often so corporate and so, like C# has come up with so many improvements in syntactic sugar, and then they created easy APIs or these quick APIs or whatever they are called, simple APIs, and then they removed a lot of extraneous stuff, and now there are like 8 ways of doing things, and people are so opinionated. They want it done the way they think is right, when in C# you have different ways of doing it, and people are obsessed sometimes with performance, when performance is not really, when it's not the .NET C# side that's really the problem. It's more data queries, data caching, and all that. But but knowing how to write a loop in C#, different ways, just to save a few microseconds, that's not. Just checking if my if my microphone works. See, like I said earlier, like my most productive hours are like till 2 p.m. Now it's just turned 5 p.m. So I'm less eloquent too. Okay. Wait, Dunning-Kruger effect? What? Dunning-Kruger effect has been debunked as an statistical artifact? Now, I don't believe that. I mean, the Dunning-Kruger effect I do think is very real. I mean, people who know a lot about, you know, well, just take flat earth theory and all these weird theories that are floating around from people who know nothing about physics and stuff, or the cosmos. Okay. Yeah, people tend to overestimate their abilities. I like to believe in the Dunning-Kruger effect because right now I just feel I'm just not good. You know, I mean, as I'm here talking, I feel, hey, I'm not that bad. But then when I go through job listings or thinking about applying somewhere, I always feel like, oh, other people are like so much better than me. My eyes have a Dunning-Kruger effect every time I eat at a buffet. Now that's too far-fetched. People exhibit Dunning-Kruger while explaining Dunning-Kruger. Yeah, I mean, it's his chat is just, you know, very often, you know, just a few dumb jokes and people kind of, you know, just chatting around. There's not like really in-depth technical stuff, and it's sort of amusing, but you know, if it was in the evening, you know, it would be easier to just watch, but during the day, it's like it's a bit too interesting to just be background noise, but it's not interesting enough to make you stop important things you're doing and pay attention. So, poorly written article. All right, so it's about saying no, it's about Dunning-Kruger effect, it's about doing things right versus doing things quick and dirty. Proof of concept, buy into a rock and avoid processes. Yeah. Yeah, I've had that problem where you write like a quick proof of concept and that proof of concept is a little bit too good, so, you know, and maybe you don't have enough time to refactor it. Okay. Hanlon's razor. Is that an actual thing, or let's ask Devin. Hey Devin, is Hanlon's razor a thing? Well, maybe Devin doesn't know. Did I turn on Devin even? You know, people just still ask about that hack and stash. Now this will probably wipe out my tier list. What happens if I click on this? No, it works. Wow. My personal reasoning for Dunning-Kruger, everybody's misspelling Dunning-Kruger, but it's hard to. I think it has the umlaut on Kruger, like Rügerrand. It's mistaking technical knowledge for experience. You spend a week drilling the docs and tutorials, and then you think you know everything when you lack experience, which is really what matters. Yeah, that's a good comment. Yeah. Yeah, you could, yeah, that's, I agree with that. There's probably a lot of people who, because they know the syntax, know they know all that's that goes into writing good software, and clearly not. So I got to go a little bit fast. I thought maybe I do a quick stream where I go through all the comments here. Yeah, Prime has a cartoon character voice. Yeah, well, that's a little bit of a tool that well, people in glass houses, I wish I had a better voice. And in fact, kind of thinking, all right, if I can't get the streaming thing off the ground with my current setup, I probably just have to wait a few months, and then it'll be possible in real time to also change my voice. I looked a little bit into it, but really the voice filters that I saw were just not that good, or were not real time. And but in a few months, first of all, I might have a better computer eventually, maybe, if a miracle happens. And then also, yeah, if there are good voice filters that in real time like change your voice from my voice to a voice that matches more closely my character here, my avatar, and then I would probably, I don't know, start from scratch, even use a different avatar, and just give it a go with a younger voice, because anybody can tell I'm not a 18-year-old. I could try to be that senior software developer with or that junior software developer at 22 with 30 years of experience. Just kidding. Yeah, well, sometimes I see people in China do these things where they like completely change their appearance and their voice and stuff like that, and I just wonder where they find it, or is it like a iOS iPhone thing, or what? Because I looked high and low and didn't really find way to do that setup here. But my computer is not very powerful. In fact, I have to generate my characters here on different servers and stream them onto my main computer that then streams through OBS. So it's a bit complicated, and that's also why like my mouth is not perfectly synchronized with what I'm talking about, and it makes it hard with my little robot sidekick here too, because it's a different machine, and the webcams, like, it runs over there, but it's not my best webcam, and I think he's just not moving as he should. All right, so let's look a little bit. Let's see, move on to some other topic. Western game companies are determined to crash the industry out of greed and arrogance. Let's give it all back to Japan. Yeah, it's been pretty obvious that this DEI worked best at companies where not most of their like user base is, people who are least easily influenced with DEI messaging, which is young men, because you can, I don't want to say gaslight, but really gaslight. You can gaslight a lot of people to thinking a whole ton of things that's maybe different from what they thought about 10 years ago, but with young men. And it's maybe a little bit different. You can't give them a female character, and say, oh, this character is just as attractive as that very stereotypical female character that you had before in your games. Right, anyone please suggest me best website for back-end system design, please. Well, why do people ask that kind of stuff on stream? Because, and then tag him, because he has no time to see this. And back-end system design, doesn't the Primeagen even like advertise like one of those sites that do that? Okay. Somebody mentioned as well, Pirate Software is basically building the ultimate support character. Absolutely not expected in the game. That just adds to the depth. Okay. I don't want to spend time, in the soapbox, but, DEI is like, I mean, I want to live in a meritocracy, especially when it comes to writing code and programming and software development. And it gets so much in the way when a lot of people suddenly judge you mostly by your gender or whatever. And it's not actually helpful. I mean, it was helpful in getting interviews for jobs that I either wasn't like reasonably qualified for, or that where the technical team maybe didn't even really want me or whatever. So that is actually not helpful. And you might get the interview, but so I'm a little bit bummed out about all the DI stuff. All right. Gosh, I guess now they're talking about games and maybe all that Concord debacle, which is, can you imagine working on something for years and years and then it gets like, it doesn't find success in the marketplace and gets chunked after a week? I can't even imagine. I mean, it has happened to me that as a team, we worked on a business-to-business dashboard that then got chunked because the company had like was in the process of being bought out, and the future parent company already had similar software. So like from one moment to the other, it was like, okay, got to pack up and go. And it felt so weird, like all these discussions, all the stand-ups, all the retrospectives, all the features that we worked on, all the discussions about when to refactor, how to improve performance and stuff like that. And then like the whole code base like garbage from one moment to the next. So that was weird. I can't even imagine what that's like if it's like years that you worked on something. And maybe your whole game studio that you worked for gets shut down. So, all right, but I'm rambling here. So, okay, what game are they talking about? Who knew that one day we'd be able to run one instance of Doom using the same amount electricity of a small nation? Oh, they're still talking about Dunning-Kruger. Jesus. All right. ThePrimeagen, for the love of all that is good in the world, switch sides? I mean, did he start like a game or something? Because if it's like a gaming, it's a gaming stream, then yeah, I'm gonna stop it here because the comments won't get any more interesting. Okay, people are still talking about games. Oh, they're talking about what's that 40k something or other that Primeagen played the other day. I only know it because I was looking at getting the comments and was like, Okay, that was just a gaming stream. Good for him to now stream games to a huge audience. That's like, is there a better way to make money? To just have fun, just play some shooting game and have hundreds or thousands of people watching. Okay. So maybe today's stream wasn't as interesting, but let's go on just a little bit. Okay. Like I don't see that many technical comments. Maybe they were watching a podcast or something. I see them mentioning Theo over and over. Okay, here we go. Companies are doing mass layoffs mainly because they couldn't do corporate buybacks with low interest rates anymore. Yeah, I mean, people are not talking about, but wasn't there like this thing where they used to be able to deduct a software developer's salary in full as an expense right away, but now it's basically it has to be amortized over I think several years. So from a tax standpoint, hiring developers has gotten a lot more expensive. Yeah, and then if you basically that means higher carrying cost because what you can't write off immediately, you like expenses. See, after 5 p.m. But there it's somehow low interest rates then figure into things. Because you're not getting like that big tax write-off like a like imagine if you get a big tax write-off, that's a lot of money in your pocket, where you don't need to go and borrow money, whereas now companies find they don't want to borrow money at those rates. Anyway, if and once AI takes over programming, like true GAI, then all jobs will become useless. So it doesn't make sense to worry about AI and programming. Well, yeah, I disagree with that somewhat because, like for example, a lot of jobs that need licensing will stick around simply because, like, if you want like if you need a lawyer, you have to hire somebody with a law degree. You can't just have an AI robot show up at court or something. So there are certain jobs that will be very sticky just from how the legal framework is set up, no matter how good AI gets. And then there's of course a lot of manual jobs where I mean robots even as they get more and more capable, they'll be very expensive. So it who knows? I mean, maybe it'll make sense to cook fast food with robots, but then again, if there's a lot of sabotage and stuff like that, and McDonald's can't even keep their ice cream machines working, then a lot of them, in other words, a lot of the manual jobs will not go away either. So what's left then is that maybe programming jobs will be one of the first wave or second wave where AI makes people redundant. And I think I'll record a video about this because, yeah, I think people underestimate what AI means to programming. They have a very narrow short-term view where they go like, oh, AI can't program in Python or TypeScript or whatever. When all these different languages, there were a lot for humans. So humans with different capabilities and preferences could pick a language and write in their favorite language. But that whole diversity of languages and frameworks will go away. It never made sense. It didn't even make sense for humans. It'll make even less sense when, as AI starts up and takes over tasks, and eventually I'm sure eventually we'll have like one language, more or less, and then a ton of specialized AI that can program in that language. All right. And maybe even that language will be then in the browser and everything, but it'll not be CSS, HTML, JavaScript, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, all right. Stop rambling. That was his only comment. Focusing on self-study and just finding interesting stuff to work on is really the best opium of the programmer in my experience. Yeah, I mean, I constantly find interesting stuff like this interface, Actually, let me go and rate that as an A tier comment. Layoffs over a certain % of employees are disclosed for publicly traded companies. Not all are public. Yeah, I think that maybe a lot more people are getting laid off than we think. I have a really important question. Since right now most LLMs are not able to affect code on an infrastructure level, should most people shift their learning to focus more on that side of things? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. As far as technical people go, who nurse production environments and make sure they don't go down and all that kind of stuff, and write DevOps pipelines, etc. That could be a field where you can't give LLMs like free reign of your AWS account or whatever. What if it gets hacked or makes a mistake and runs up a huge bill or something? And there's only so many guardrails you can put on there. So it is a good question. So let me rate this here. It is good, but but then again, things are changing so much in that field. I mean, just think about, cloud is now a decent number of years old, but it is constantly changing, and the cloud services are constantly changing. And yeah, if you're looking to learn something and then stick with it, I mean, I don't know, why. I don't know if that's a more comfortable position than as a backend or front-end developer, but I feel I'm like rambling about a lot of things I don't even know about. Self-checkout has severely removed the need for cashiers. Yeah, I think people like quote, horses got replaced by cars, so then there were suddenly a lot of car mechanic jobs, and they replaced all the I guess horse carriage drivers and stuff like that. But AI hits different, And I don't want to get into another rant why that is, but yeah, it's a quantum leap in how much more efficient so many workflows can get with less human intervention. And humans are so slow, and they need to sleep and stuff like that. So so any progress that AI makes will just be so much more powerful than like one, whatever. I mean, we're seeing it with like graphic design and stuff like that, and there's only because there's not like one big lobby for graphic designer or painters or video artists or whatever. That's why we don't hear much about how much their work is drying up. If they were like the union of auto workers or whatever, it would be completely different. But even narrating stuff or writing subtitles, how many people, had that as their job, and it's already like AI is, doing it almost perfectly. All right, so okay, it's all about AIs now. Oh, AI. They talk about those Amazon take and go shop stores or whatever it was called, where in reality they had like offshore people monitoring through cameras. Okay. Okay, so clearly there is a demo where Primeagen could have bought a demo. Hand rolling auto scaling. Prime gonna write the next. I got charged 50k by Fly.io overnight. Yeah, auto scaling is not something you wanna hand roll. Okay, there are a billion reasons why someone may not feel good enough or capable enough, but I guess my POV comes from me having maybe an overconfidence that I can figure anything out given enough time. Okay. Alright, so it's back to kind of self-confidence, maybe Dunning-Kruger. Okay, Fressy. Chat, I'm having a dilemma right now and I need your opinions. Should I stay in a big tech company that had several layoffs in the past months and now it's changing the work policy to hybrid? Or should I change for a smaller company that I previously worked with a higher role and fully remote? It's tough to say. I mean, smaller company sounds good. I mean, hybrid, if you have, especially if you have some sort of commute, kind of sucks. Yeah, but why ask the Primeagen chat? I mean, there's so many things that go into that decision and why you left. Is the big tech company a lot more money? Might be good to stick it out there unless the commute is too horrible. Okay, a bunch of yeah, okay, and that wrapped up already. So maybe it wasn't like this big time tech stream. Hey Primeagen, I just wanted you to know it's pronounced Luddite, not Luddite. Yeah, missed the whole damn thing thanks to morning meetings. Okay, so I mean, just from the comments, it seems like it wasn't like the best stream, so I'll do this again, maybe when he's talking more about more interesting tech videos. But hey, my interface worked just fine. Didn't break down, and I really like how the tier list works. There's something really satisfying about dragging and dropping messages. So looks like I didn't have any viewers. I didn't watch the viewer count like a hawk, but it really looks like I had 0 viewers. But I mean, again, it's Labor Day week, the Friday night, and people have something better to do, which is fine. mean, it was the plan from the beginning to just stick it out, just get into the habit of streaming, trying different things, and eventually, again, like I said, like I talked about at the beginning, if there's something about my streams that is fundamentally turning people off, like my voice or whatever, or my fluttering eyelids, I figured out that's because I'm wearing glasses, and I guess um, the camera that tracks my eye movement thinks I'm batting my eyelids, whenever like the glass rim comes into view. So I think I have to switch to glasses maybe with no rim or whatever. And yeah, like I talked about, I could even change my voice. I mean, with AI, it's now almost heck. I could almost in a year I can probably switch from an animated avatar to just my real self. And if I don't want to deal with the makeup and all that kind of stuff, I could probably just there's probably enough software that's good enough to just show your real face, but improved without spending half an hour in front of the mirror. Because then I would actually not ever stream. And that happened before, where I tried to okay, I'm going to become a streamer and stream regularly, but with my real face, it was just too much hassle. And I really like how it did go. And of course, Devin, I can put a lot more work into him too. So, all right. It's simply nice to talk to the ether. So if anybody watches the VOD, thank you so much. And I wish people would join the stream and leave some feedback or whatever, but definitely need to stick to it for a while. And if after a month I still stream to 0 viewers, then it would revisit. So, all right. So, see y'all in the next stream. Bye.